Hey guys, Mamie here again today, and I'm here with catscrappiness.com, and I'm just showing you some of the products that I'm using today for this card. And so I am using the Booyah stamp set and the Hanging Around stamp set. And I'm going to use my awesome stitched oval dies here. They're just so pretty. And so I'm going to be doing a little bit of tricky masking because this little cat, his paws are on the front, but his body needs to be on the back. So it's a little bit tricky to do, but it ended up coming out okay. And the parts that didn't come out perfect, I just fix with my markers, or I don't worry about it too much. So I'm stamping part of the cat first. And then, as you see, I have his body. So the part that's under the tree branch, I separated from his head. And so I got that little line there that came down at the bottom because I didn't clean off the bottom part of the stamp very well. But that's okay. The cat's going to be black, so it wasn't that bad. But I just thought this was such a cute idea to have that sweet little witch's hat on Newton. So I've got some little parts, because they're different stamp sets from different companies, the lines are going to be different sizes of the images. So one thing you can do is just get a thicker Copic liner or another kind of multi-liner. I think this one I'm using is Prismacolor. And you just outline the entire image, and then that way it looks more cohesive. Looks like it's all from the same stamp company or something. Because the Lawn Fawn stamps have very thick lines on their images, and the Newton's Nooks are a little bit thinner. And I'm just heating that up. Just want to make sure that I don't get bleeding all over the place. And I think, yeah, I'm using Bristol Smooth cardstock today. I just wanted to try it out and see how it worked with my Copics, and it actually worked pretty well. I was really surprised. It blends pretty well, and I wasn't disappointed. So if you don't have any paper, you can always try your Bristol from your stash. So I'm starting out really light because I wasn't sure how this paper would react with the markers, and so I wanted to make sure I had like a nice wet base. So I'm just kind of going along and moistening up the whole image with the light Copic color here that I'm using. And this is the N2, so I'm using the N2, the N4, the N6, the N8, and the 100, the black. And so I'm starting lightest to darkest, and then pretty much back down. But there will be some parts where I kind of add more or add less, depending on the shading. So under the paws and parts where there's shadows is where the darkest color is going to be. And then I'm going to lighten it up with the lighter colors after that. I didn't really do too much fussing over this image. It's kind of a small image, and so it didn't need a whole lot of blending and shading, etc. I wanted to get that hat a little bit lower, but it doesn't matter. It looks cute either way. If I had to make everything perfect, then I would not have enough time for crafting like I like to have. It's all a learning experience. And so at the very end here, I just taking the N8, going back over some of my darker areas. It's going to be kind of like a night scene, so I'm letting the shadows be quite dark. It's going to be kind of a night scene. It's going to be like, yeah, like before dark. And so now I'm using my violets, and I'm using the V09, V15, V04, and V12. Not for any particular reason. They blend pretty well, but it's just what I happen to have. That's the only purples I really have. So, but they do blend pretty well. But as you can see on this Bristol paper, it kind of turns out pretty smooth. I was really surprised. Bristol paper is a really great paper. I haven't had any complaints for using it with your Zig watercolor markers and just, regular watercoloring. You can do a bit of that too. It just works pretty well. So if you don't have any Bristol, you should get some. I know I say that all the time. And so now I'm just using a couple different browns here to color in the tree and the leaves. I'm going to be using some greens, my YGs. Just look at that stitching on that oval die. Isn't that so cute? It has like a dot and a line and a dot and a line. Just love it. I'm so happy with all the dies that I've gotten from Cat Scrappiness store. I can't say enough. The price is fantastic. The shipping is so fast, like amazing. Just love it. So anyway, okay, so here I'm doing the sky area, I guess. I'm not really putting a ground because it looks like Newton's kind of hanging up in a tree pretty high, so. And now I'm taking a darker blue. I think it's called Prussian blue. And then I'm just fading that color out a bit to the outside. I really don't like doing too much of a background with my Copics because I don't like to use up all my ink on a background. But since this is so small of an area, it really wasn't that big of a deal, and it turned out pretty cute. And I think that looks pretty good, so I'm going to move on to coloring the last piece of the hat here in an orangey red color. Just do some finishing touches. And I think that looks good. So now I can move on to the next part, which is putting the card together. And so I have been using the Booze and Brews paper pad like crazy. So of course I'm using it again. I'm just trying to figure out like what kind of colors would go good with this, and I'm trying to make sure I have something that has some blue. And there's just this paper pad is so awesome. It just has all kinds of cool colors. And so I decided to make another oval to really make Newton a substantial part of the card here to help make him the focal point. And I just cut it out of the black cardstock that I'm using as the matting on the card base as well. So 2 for 1. And I'm using this like whimsical squiggly paper out of that paper pad. And I am going to pop this one up here with just some fun foam laying on my desk. And some behind Newton as well. And this little sentiment comes out of the paper pad as well. And it says, "Hi Pumpkin." So basically pretty much all the supplies I use today you can get at catscrappiness.com. All the supplies I've used are also listed in the description below the video and also on my blog. And there are still shots on my blog as well. So always go by there and check out, because there's lots of cards I post on there that I don't necessarily make videos of. So my website is, or my blog rather, is www.onejoyousskip.com. And also make sure that you subscribe to Kat's YouTube channel, because all of our design team have been posting our videos on there. So there is a lot to look forward to and a lot going on. So don't miss out on that. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this card. And I have some still shots here at the end for you to look at the final product. And I hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.